guys. We are back with another song by Eminem. And which one are we doing today?
Today we are doing Going Through Changes.
Okay, I know that song.
Yeah, with the Ozzy Osbourne Black Sabbath sample.
Yes.
I,
Yes. That
I,
sample is also in Big Mouth.
yeah, it is. It's funny. I love this song.
Yeah.
This song has definitely made me cry, probably more than once. It's very emotional. Yeah, it's very emotional, but it's good. It gets empowering at the end, so
Maybe I won't be emotional because I'm really hungry.
it could be. So we will check it out. It's mostly a breakdown since you know this,
Yeah.
so not much of a reaction.
Well, I don't remember anything but the chorus,
Yeah,
really.
it's funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on all social media channels. Links in the description below, and our username's right here. And I have been posting more. I actually posted today. Yay,
Nice.
me. Okay.
All right.
I'm hungry. Okay, let's go.
Going through changes.
Lately I really feel like I'm rolling for dough like Philly. Feel like I'm losing control of myself. I sincerely apologize if all that I sound like is I'm complaining, but life keeps on complicating, and I'm debating on leaving this world this evening. Even my girls can see I'm grieving. I try and hide it, but I can't. Why do I act like I'm all high and mighty when inside I'm dying? I'm finally realizing I need help. Can't do it myself, too weak. 2 weeks I've been having ups and downs, going through peaks and valleys, dilly-dallying round with the idea of ending this shit right here. I'm hating my reflection. I walk around the house trying to fight mirrors. I can't stand what I look like. Yeah, I look fat, but what do I care? I give a fuck. Only thing I fear is Haley. I'm afraid if I close my eyes then I might see her. Shit.
So
Not crying yet. That's good.
now it gets there. This doesn't also seem to be the greatest quality version of the song, but whatever. It's good enough. So it starts off with the chorus, which is very simple. I'm going through changes. Don't know, don't know what I thought he says, don't know what I'm gonna do. Let's see, I have the lyrics on my phone here. At least I did. Da, da, da. Yeah, because they're saying don't know what I'm going through, but I just keep going through changes. Um, they don't have the lyrics here.
Ozzy. There should be a link in
No,
there.
no, no. So that it's Eminem's ad libs. He's singing over. Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever. I always thought he says don't know what I'm gonna do. I guess it could be don't know what I'm going through. And then it says, but I just keep on going through changes. And then going through changes, going through changes. All right. And then he gets into the first verse. It's funny they're missing a word because it's confusing. So
I can like barely read it on that screen. I'm gonna have to look
yeah.
up here.
Yeah, okay. So it says, lately, I really feel like I'm rolling for Delph like Philly. I feel like I'm losing control of myself. I sincerely. So it's funny. This is like a straightforward song that's, about the message and his feelings. It's not like really meant to like show off his rhyming
So
abilities.
there's nothing to really like figure out.
Not really, but this is the one line where it is. And to the point where the whoever made this video is missing a word. Okay, so he says, lately, I really feel like I'm rolling for Delph, DELF or PH,
Is the last name,
like Philly.
right?
No, so
Well, it is, but
maybe. I don't know. So when he says Delph, he means like self, right? Like solo, I'm rolling for myself, he's alone, right? But it's a play on rolling for Delph, like Philly, so Philadelphia, right? And
Oh,
then rolling, you smoke Phillies, you smoke blunts, you use Phillies. So rolling
okay.
for Delph, like Philly. So Philadelphia, the blunt Phillies, and then he uses Delph as, self.
Yeah.
So that's like the first line, there's like actually a pretty complex bar in there.
I thought that it was like something about someone on the Phillies whose last name was Delph
Delph.
because
That's
I went to
funny.
high school with a girl whose last name was that. So I was like, oh, is that what it means?
That's funny.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't even know that name. So then he says, I feel like I'm losing control of myself. I sincerely apologize if all that I sound like is I'm complaining, but life keeps on complicating, and I'm debating on leaving this world this evening. Even my girls can see I'm grieving. I try and hide it, but I can't. Why do I act like I'm all high and mighty when inside I'm dying? I am finally realizing I need help. I can't do it myself. Too weak. 2 weeks. I've been having ups and downs, going through peaks and valleys, dilly dallying around with the idea of ending the shit right here. Okay, so it's all self-explanatory. He's in a very fucking dark place, and
Yeah.
he's apologizing. He's like, I'm sorry if like you feel like you're just hearing me complain and whine and talk about my life and wanting to die, which he said, I'm debating on leaving this world this evening. And then he says, even my girls can see I'm grieving. So, he's like, it's not just, so it's in his music because that's what he has like on his mind and on his heart to express, but like in his personal life too.
Yeah, like it's just everything. Like he's just not hiding it.
Yes. And then he says, I try and hide it, but I can't. And he acts like, he doesn't need help. But then he says he's dying and he realizes he needs help. And then he says, I can't do it by myself. So, he can't do it alone. He needs another person, at least, or something, God, maybe, to help him. And he says, 2 weeks he's been having up and downs, going through peaks and valleys, dilly dallying around with the idea of ending the shit right here. So, again, another reference of
Suicide.
killing himself. Yes. He says, I'm hating my reflection. I walk around the house trying to fight mirrors. I can't stand what I look like. Yeah. I look fat, but what do I care? I give a fuck. The only thing I fear is Haley. I'm afraid if I close my eyes, then I might see her. So, yeah, he's
So like if he really does try to kill himself, that'll stop him. So that's why he fears that.
yeah, that's what he's saying. So it's funny. It sounds corny, but he says, "I'm hating my reflection. I walk around the house trying to fight mirrors." So I never tried to fight any mirrors, but like when I was deep in my addiction, there was I would say maybe close to a dozen times throughout the years where I was just either I was in the bathroom or something and I just happened to catch myself in the mirror, and like my face was sunken in, my eyes were fucking black, like, my beard was so fucked up and, not groomed
Yeah.
and really like feeling that like, oh my God, like I can't even look, like I hate the way I look, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not on like a superficial level, like you know what I mean, like I look good, it's just like, oh, I look unwell, do you know what I mean, and unhealthy, like,
Yeah.
and it was
That would
a
happen to me too. A lot of times I would brush my teeth when I was in the shower,
yeah,
not realizing that
why you were
that was
doing
the
it.
reason. I was
Yeah,
like, I'm saving time.
yeah, no, it is interesting how
Yeah.
your mind works like that. You try to keep yourself from it. So yeah, and then he says, I can't stand what I look like. Yeah, I look fat, but what do I care? I don't know if you remember the pictures of him like before he got clean. He was fucking huge.
No, but
he
that's
was he
good.
was like unrecognizable.
Eventually you lose it. Like when you do a lot of drugs, your metabolism slows down. Same with like when people quit smoking, they're not like getting fat because all of a sudden they're eating more. All of those things slow your metabolism down because it makes you not want to eat and it pretty much functions like I don't know. I don't know everything about the metabolism. I just know that it like shuts it down. And then when you stop doing those drugs or whatever, your metabolism's still like slow because all the drugs and everything was taking place of it. Oh, he was puffy.
Yeah, so this is when he was using still. So
Really?
yeah, so you're referring to, which is very common when you stop doing drugs and stuff, you usually put on weight. He's referring, he's like happens with alcoholics a lot, they get bloated and stuff. So he was just drinking, getting high and eating shit, you know what I mean? And just ballooning up.
The drugs I did made me not eat.
Yeah. And then yeah, so he says, I look fat, but what do I care? And he says, I give a fuck. The only thing I fear is Haley. Afraid if I close my eyes and I might see her. Shit. Okay, I'll pick it up here.
If I close my eyes, then I might see her. Shit. bedroom, bathroom, napping at noon. Yeah, dad's in a bad mood, he's always snapping at you. Marshall, what happened at you? Can't stop with these pills and you falling off with your skills and your own fans are laughing at you. It become a problem, you're too pussy to tackle. Get up, be a man, stand. A real man would've had this shit handled. No, you just had your heart whipped out and crushed. They say proof just flipped out, homie just whipped out and bust. Nah, it ain't like duty to do that. He wouldn't fucking shoot at nobody, he'd fight first. But dwelling on it only makes the night worse. Now I'm popping bikes, perks, and methadone pills. Yeah, M tight verse, you killed it. Fucking drug dealers hang around me like yes men, and they go do whatever I says when I says it. It's in their best interest to protect their investment, and I just lost my fucking best friend, so fuck it, I guess then.
Okay. So it's weird. There's like 4 short verses in this.
Yeah.
Okay, so he went through the chorus again, and then the second verse is I locked myself in the bathroom, napping at noon. Yeah, dad's in a bad mood. He's always snapping at you.
Oh.
So yeah, he's caught up in his addiction. He's locking himself in the bathroom, obviously doing drugs and shit. Napping at noon, so he needs to fucking nap.
Or nodding out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's interesting. Dad's in a bad mood. He's always snapping at you, so on edge. Marshall, what happened that you? So they got the lyrics here. What happened that you can't stop with these pills, and you've fallen off with your skills, and your own fans are laughing at you. So that's where he was at the time. He realizes he's addicted, and
Yeah.
he can't stop it. And then his rapping is paying the price for it. You know what I mean? Like he can't write and he can't like rhyme anymore. And your own fans are laughing at you. So like encore time, we discussed that people didn't really like that album. There was a lot of complaints.
Yeah. Even though that's like technically based on all my favorite Eminem songs, it's my
Yeah.
favorite album.
And relapse too, even though he was clean then.
Mm-hmm.
And then he says, yeah, your own fans are laughing at you. It's become a problem. You're too pussy to tackle. Get up, be a man, stand. A real man would have had the shit handled. No, you just had your heart ripped out and crushed. They say proof just flipped out. Homie just whipped out and bust. And he says, nah, it ain't like duty to do that. He wouldn't fucking shoot at nobody. He'd fight first. So again, he continues with the previous little section on the previous page. He says, be a man, stand. A real man would have had this shit handled. So like, get your shit together. If
Yeah.
like you're a real man, you're a father, you got to stop fucking doing these drugs and get your life together.
For
And
sure.
he's like, you're too much of a pussy to handle it. And then he says, I know. So it's funny. He's like kind of talking to himself because what he was like, Marshall, what happened that you can't stop. And it's like that same person talking to him, even though it's him talking to himself, saying, I know that you just had your heart ripped out and crushed. So referring to proof. He says, they say proof just flipped out, homie just whipped out and bust, meaning he took out his gun and started shooting. And then Eminem says, nah, it ain't like duty to do that. He wouldn't fucking shoot at nobody. He'd fight first. So
Okay.
Eminem
So
is,
saying that like the rumors about him are a lie.
yeah, meaning like
Okay.
he wouldn't just start shooting for no reason. He would fight him first, before it got to, the guns. And then, if he had to, he would. Then he continues. So he'd fight first, but dwelling on it only makes the night worse. Now I'm popping Vikes, perks, and methadone pills. Yeah, tight verse. You killed it. Fucking drug dealers hang around me like yes men, and they gonna do whatever I says when I says it. So he's dwelling on the fact what happened with proof and like, no, that couldn't have been what happened. But he says dwelling on it makes it worse. And now he's
Yeah.
popping Vicodin, Percocets, and methadone to get fucked up. And then he does this little thing, which is interesting. It says, yeah, tight verse. You killed it. Which is like people talking to him. And we find out he says, fucking drug dealers hang around me like yes men. And they're going to do whatever I says when I says it. So like they're literally the yes men. And oh, you're so funny and you're so awesome.
Yeah. I still find it interesting. Did he never do heroin?
And I don't think so.
Because, I mean, saying like obviously there were probably a bunch of drug dealers around him all the time because he's a celebrity and he could do whatever he wants, but he was still doing like Vikes and perks, which I mean, I'm an addict, so I can say that to me that's like funny because I mean, I did those for maybe like a minute and then I was like, oh, heroin.
Yeah, but you take enough of those. I mean, there's people, there's we hear about it, people overdosing on those pills and dying. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I get what you're saying because the next step, it was the same with me. The next step is heroin because it's cheaper, it's
It's
more
like the
potent.
difference between like if you're trying to get drunk drinking a beer and then taking down
Liquor.
like 6 shots of tequila.
Yeah.
Why, if you want to get wasted, you're gonna go with the tequila.
Hmm.
It's much faster.
Yeah. So the yes men around him are like, "Oh, everything's so great. You're so funny." And he says that and they're going to do whatever I say when I say to. And then he continues by saying it's in their best interest to protect their investment. And I just lost my fucking best friend, so fuck it, I guess then. So yeah, the drug dealers are being yes men because Eminem's their customer and he
Mhm.
is going to buy drugs. So they're going to be like, yeah, we need to keep him going.
I
You know.
wonder if they ever rip off
Oh,
celebrities.
definitely. They probably get ripped off the most.
Oh, yeah, because they probably don't know how much anything costs and
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then again, don't do drugs, guys. It's
No.
bad. Drugs are bad, okay?
Yeah. So then, yeah, he says they're protecting their investment. He says, and I just lost my fucking best friend. So it's his rationalization. His excuse is that, I'm hurt. I'm going through a lot of pain. So these drugs help me deal with it.
Yeah.
Pick it up here.
And I just lost my fucking best friend, so fuck it, I guess then. Don't know what I'm gonna do, but I just keep on going through changes. My friends can't understand this new me. That's understandable, man. But think how bananas you'd be. You'd be an animal too. If you were trapped in this fame and caged in it like a zoo, and everybody's looking at you, what you want me to do? I'm starting to live like a recluse, and the truth is fame's starting to give me an excuse to be at a all-time low. I sit alone in my home theater, watching the same damn DVD at the first tour, the last tour. He was still alive, and it hurts so. Fast forward, sleeping pills that make me feel alright. And if I'm still awake in the middle of the night, I'll just take a couple more. Yeah, you're motherfucking right. I ain't slowing down for no one. I am almost homeward bound, almost in the coma. Yeah, homie, come on, dome 'em out. Daddy, don't you die on me. Daddy, better hold your ground. Fuck, don't I know the sound of that voice? Yeah, baby, hold me down.
Okay. So, third verse. He says, my friend just can't understand this new me. That's understandable, man, but just think how bananas you'd be. You'd be an animal too if you were trapped in this fame and caged in it like a zoo, and everybody's looking at you. What you want me to do? So, he's talking about he's famous, and the way everybody's
Yeah.
looking at him and it's changed him, you know what I mean? It's a new him because, he has money and he's famous and everything. But, it drives you crazy. And he's like, you would be the same way.
Yeah, most likely,
And then
for sure.
yeah, and everybody's looking at you, and he says, "And what do you want me to do?" You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting by. I'm doing drugs. You know what I mean? This is how I deal. I cope. And he says, "I'm starting to live like a recluse, and the truth is, fame's starting to give me an excuse to be at an all-time low." So same fucking thing. I sit alone in my home theater watching the same damn DVD of the first tour, the last tour. He was still alive and it hurts, so I fast forward. So that's sore. It hurts, so I fast forward. Sleeping pills will make me feel alright, and if I'm still awake in the middle of the night, I just take a couple more. Yeah, you're motherfucking right. So he's torturing himself. So,
Yeah.
he's obsessively watching this performance of Proof and him, on the tour, and he's like obsessing and like, just
Yeah, making himself upset and
yeah,
miserable.
like obsessive thinking and like he's just like compulsively like bringing that sorrow, like constantly bringing it up and making him. I've been there, you know what I mean? When I was younger, I would do that in my head. I would
Mm,
like constantly ruminate on things that made me feel terrible.
yeah. That's like common when
Mm.
you're using though. Like
That too, yeah.
my situation was a little different, but when I was using, I would just nonstop watch Gossip Girl and be like, why aren't I like Serena? It's like, oh, it's because I'm doing heroin in my bed right now.
It's funny.
That's why. We are not alike. Even
Yeah,
though I think she was an addict, but never mind.
yeah. You like torture yourself though,
Yeah.
And so yeah, he's doing this obsessively watching it, but then he says, it hurts, so he fast forwards and then he's sleeping and he's taking the sleeping pills, and then he says if, he wakes up in the middle of the night, he just takes some more. So it's just, constant. Um, and then he said, so I ain't slowing down for no one. I am almost homeward bound, almost
Like
in a
dead.
almost in a coma. Yeah, homie, come on. Dole him out, I think is what he says. Or does he say don't look now? So yeah, this is his overdose that we
Oh, right.
were experiencing. Yeah, he says almost in a coma. Yeah, homie, come on, dole him out. So he's saying I ain't slowing down for no one. He doesn't care. He's just keep going. I'm almost homeward bound. So yeah, he's almost dying. And then
Yeah.
he says almost in a coma. Yeah, homie, dole him out. So like even though he's almost in a coma, like he still wants to use. He still wants to get fucking high. And then you kind of hear in the background there's like one of the like a heartbeat sensor, like the medical shit you hear in the hospital. And then he's talking in Haley's voice, and you actually hear her too. And he says, Daddy, don't you die on me. Daddy, better hold your ground. Fuck, don't I know the sound of that voice? Yeah, baby, hold me down. And then that is where we left off. So so there's 2 minutes left. We'll just play the song out from here, though.
Okay.
Don't I know the sound of that voice? Yeah, baby, hold me down. Don't know what I'm gonna do, but I just keep on going through changes. Wake up in the hospital, bullet tubes, but somehow I'm pulling through. Swear when I come back, I'ma be bulletproof. I'ma do it just for proof. I think I should state a few facts, cause I may not get a chance again to say the truth. Shit, it just hit me that what if I would not have made it through? I think about the things I would've never got to say to you. I'd never get to make it right, so here's what I came to do. Haley, this one is for you, Whitney and Elena too. I still love your mother, that'll never change. Think about her every day, we just could never get it together, hey. Wish there was a better way for me to say it, but I swear on everything, I'll do anything for her on any day. There are just too many things to explain. When it rains, guess it pours, guess it does. Wish there wasn't any pain, but I can't pretend there ain't. I ain't placing any blame, I ain't pointing fingers, heaven knows I've never been a saint. I know that it feels like we just pissed away our history, and just today I looked at your picture, almost hit to say I miss you subconsciously. Wish it didn't end this way, but I just had to get away. Don't know why, I don't know what else to say. I guess I'm don't know what I'm gonna do, but I just keep on going through changes.
Okay.
So I think I figured it out. If you ever have to listen to something sad and you're afraid that you're gonna cry, just make sure that you're really, 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 really hungry.
So there's like a few random words that are off on the video, so I'm just gonna read the fourth verse from my phone.
Mhm.
So it's interesting, this verse. So he's like talking to his kids,
Yeah,
but
I
he's
noticed
he's
that.
also kind of talking to Kim. He's
Yeah, I
talking
noticed
he's
that
talking
too.
about Kim, but it's interesting. It's like a positive-ish note about her. You know what I mean? Okay, so he says, verse 4, we just heard him. He overdosed, he's in a coma.
Yeah.
So then he follows up the fourth verse by saying, Wake up in the hospital full of tubes, but somehow I'm pulling through. Swear when I come back, I'm gonna be bulletproof. I'm gonna do it just for proof. I think that I should state a few facts because I may not get a chance again to say the truth. Shit, it just hit me that what if I would not have made it through? I think about all the things I would have never got to say to you. I never get to make it right, so here's what I came to do. Haley, this one's for you, Whitney and Elena too. So he's giving us the perspective of when he was in the hospital, and he's got the fucking tubes in him, and he's like, all right, man, I got to get my shit together. He's like, I'm gonna do this for proof. I'm gonna get my shit together. And he's realizing, like, it dawned on him that, like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
I never would have been able to do these things or say these things that I wanted to do. Like I almost lost the ability to do that. And then he says, Haley, this one's for you, Whitney and Elena, so his daughters. And then he says, I still love your mother. That'll never change. Think about her every day. We could just never get it together. Hey, wish there was a better way for me to say it, but I swear on everything, I'd do anything for her on any day. So it's interesting. He's like talking about Kim in a positive note. He's like, yeah, we're not together anymore. We're separated and divorced, but like, I still love your mother and I would do anything for her, which is interesting. And then he says, we could just never get it together. Hey, wish there was a better way for me to say, but I swear on anything, I'd do anything for her on any day. There are just too many things to explain. When it rains, guess it pours. Yeah, it does. Wish there wasn't any pain, but I can't pretend there ain't. I ain't placing any blame. I ain't pointing fingers. Heaven knows I've never been a saint. So that part's self-explanatory. He's like, I can't exactly explain how this relationship fell apart and devolved.
Yeah, I mean, if you could, then you would really be able to fix it.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah.
And then he says, it kind of happens. And he said, when it rains, I guess it pours, which is interesting. Shit just, it happens, gets fucking bad. He's like, but I'm not saying it's her fault, because heaven knows I've never been a saint, So he's like alluding to the fact that,
It's like always mutual most of the
yeah,
time.
of course. And then he says, ba, 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 ba. I know that it feels like we just pissed away our history. And just today, I looked at your picture, almost if to say, I miss you subconsciously. Wish it didn't end this way, but I just had to get away. Don't know why. I don't know what else to say. I guess I'm. And then it goes going through changes.
Mm,
So yeah, he's that last little section. So he like starts by talking to like the his daughters, and then by explaining like to them about Kim, he's like talking to Kim as well. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
exactly.
Which is interesting. So yeah, it's funny. I know the song like very well, and in my mind, I was like, oh, it ends positive, which it does. Like the fourth verse, he's like saying like, oh, I'm gonna get my life together, but it's still like very melancholy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's sad.
It's like, yeah, me and your mom, we love each other, but we can't be together, and like, hey, we couldn't make it work, but like, you know. And then, yeah, he misses her. And then he says, I just had to get away. Don't know why. I don't know what else to say. And then it goes with the chorus, I'm going through changes, which it fits perfectly. The sample of this, using the chorus
Yeah,
fits perfectly with his verses. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know why, but, I'm going through changes. I have all these changes in my life, and like, maybe some of them are good, maybe some of them are bad, because we hear him like getting famous in what, the second verse, where he's like, my friends don't understand this new me. So
yeah,
that's like the change from normal life, being a normal person, to being like a famous rap superstar, and then the change of like being addicted to drugs, and the change of losing his best friend, and then the change of fucking divorce. Like, it's just, life throws a ton of shit at you.
exactly.
Yes. All right. So, going through changes.
So I love the sample of Ozzy. Um, I know this song. I remember it from like around the time when it came out. I don't love it because it's so sad, and I don't like sad songs. If you know me, you know that. But I can respect that it's good, and I really like the sample of Ozzy.
Yeah, this song, like, it gets me like emotional sometimes, you know what I mean? Especially, so this is like like I mentioned, the quality of this version that we listen to isn't that great.
I didn't notice. I
Y-
never noticed.
Yeah, but like I said, like once a year I'll go through, like I'll play Eminem's whole discography like while I'm at work. It'll take me like a couple days. And yes, I've definitely had this song on and like been working and getting choked up and like emotional, which is so funny.
I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I fucking love the song, love the
Mhm.
sample. It's great. It's a beautiful song in my opinion.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it is.
It's great.
It really is.
All right.
So yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.
See you. Bye.
Bye.